again. Got a little bit of hobby desk stuff I need to take care of. I want to build Cypher. Got some basing stuff I need to do. And yeah, just kind of catch up on some things. Hopefully you guys are doing all right tonight. Let's see, trying to get this chat thing set up. There we go. It's always a little off. But yeah, hope you guys are doing all right tonight. Trying to get that hobby time in when I can. Like I've said in the past. You know, never enough time to do any of this kind of stuff. All right. But yeah, no, so tonight I'm going to work on building Cypher. Gonna work on getting some basing stuff done and get Cypher's base together with the washer. So yeah, if you guys feel like saying hey, holler at me. Other than that, I'm going to focus on getting some stuff done. Let's see. So this was the old Cypher model from a long time ago when they released Gilliman and all that. I couldn't find the instructions for them, but I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty straightforward. Should be able to figure it out. But yeah, look at the detail. The sword of the lion, more than likely. No one really knows. But it looks pretty cool to me. But again, yeah, effort with no instructions shouldn't be too bad, but we'll see. And then I don't think he's got any rules right now in the hobby. So I don't know if he's even a playable character or how that works out. But we'll see. Like, I don't know, would he be in the Dark Angels Codex? Would he be in the Chaos Codex? Like, I don't know. I guess that's the whole point of Cypher. But the lore behind him's kind of neat. Like, there's been a bunch of different Cyphers. Yeah, it's more of a title than it is a name. And it basically gets passed on. I don't 100% know the lore about why it gets passed on or who it gets passed on to or anything like that. It's still pretty new to the whole Dark Angels lore scene. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna actually switch nippers. That sword looks pretty flimsy. I really don't need it busting or bending on me. But yeah. So the goal for tonight, I'm going to get some sand and pebbles down on them. So when I go to prime them, that'll help stick it all down too. get this guy built and on his base. And that should pretty much call it for the evening. Hopefully you guys are working on some stuff too right now. Taking time to battle the pile of shame. Don't act like you don't have one. And I've been fortunate. We've been having snow days, which is rare. So gives me the opportunity to get some more stuff done, more than normal. So taking full advantage of that. It's pretty cool. And I don't know, I think I've said this before, I'll say it again then. I'm primarily, Ultramarines kind of guy. Very vanilla. So building all these Dark Angels lately with all the different robes and cloths and iconography and all that, it's actually kind of refreshing. But it's so much cleaner. I don't know if my chat's working. It doesn't seem very consistent. Can someone, if anybody's watching, type into the chat for me and see if it's popping up? But yeah, trying to get those hobby reps in. It's so smooth. All right, empty frame. Let's see how this is doing. Yeah, thanks for the like. Appreciate it. It's pretty clean. Again, that magnet sheet holds out on there pretty good. I mean, it's not a super strong bond. Like, it's not something you have to like pry off to use, which I actually like, because I've had friends and whatnot who's used like neodymium magnets for their travel stuff, and they've actually snapped off models because the magnetic force was so strong. So I like that one. Now, if you're driving in the car and someone cuts you off and you slam on your brakes, your stuff might go flying a little bit, but it's not that bad. It's infinitely better than anything else I've found to do, and it definitely beats foam. Transporting in foam is terrible. I don't know, I guess for the longest time that's all they really had, but the foam just tears up paint. All right, knife time. Yeah, it doesn't look like my chat's working. Let's see. I don't really know how to get that to work, but it says connecting over there. It just won't connect. So I apologize. But yeah, Cypher. And I was talking to a friend of mine. He said he hasn't been in the Codex for a while, which is weird. He seems to be a pretty important character. Is he going to save the Imperium? Is he going to destroy the Imperium? Who knows? All we know is he wants to get to the Emperor for whatever reason. Now the idea is to kill the Emperor, to set his soul free, so he could become a true god, or no one really knows. But that kind of goes with the whole thing: Cypher, code, mystery. Then he carries allegedly the lion's old sword, but who really knows, right? I mean, he doesn't have his old sword. He's got fealty now. So, that's the new sword. But not really clear. And I've been putting a lot of work in building lately. If any of you guys haven't like keeping up with it, but I go through like these phases. So like right now it's the build phase, and then I'll go through like a painting phase. So keep along with the adventure. You can change if you're not into the building side of things. I guess I'm just pretty lucky. I kind of like all parts of the hobby. It's just, sometimes I don't like all parts of the hobby at all the times. Like, I don't think I could build a figure, paint a figure, so on and so forth. So, once you get all these guys built up, there'll be a big string of like batch painting, which is how I normally approach things. However, these guys with all the different decorations and stuff on them, I don't know if they're the best to try to just batch paint. They may all end up being painted like individual characters, which might take me a while. But I don't know, last time I was streaming, somebody was talking about, how long it takes them. And I'd mentioned to him, look, you can't really compare yourself to what you see on YouTube. A lot of the big guys, they've been doing it forever. It's their job. They put 40 hours a week into doing it. Whereas, most of us, we try to just find time to do the work, to kind of like zen out. So, keep your standards and expectations, to the level that you can do. Watch those people, but don't judge yourself on them. Kind of like when you go to Instagram to check out people's paint work. Well, people who are doing that kind of stuff, they're masters of what they do. So, if you compare yourself to that all the time, that could be kind of rough on you. Could be good though. It could be pushing you towards something as long as you're learning and growing. With this hobby, the most important part is just get the work done. Put the reps in. Get the practice in. Don't let your pile of opportunity sit for too long. Make sure you're trying to get a little bit in. And a few hours a week, you'll get there. It usually takes me between, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour to build a character. All depending on the character. This one seems pretty straightforward and simple. See, I say that now, and when I start to get doing it, a whole different game. But like that Terminator chaplain, it took me about an hour, which is kind of ridiculous. I've never really had to deal with a singular guy for that long that wasn't like Primarch level. Like, he's cool and all. He's definitely way cooler in person than I thought in the box art. But with that said, I didn't think it'd take that long to get done. Alright, so all that's cleaned up. And I mentioned it earlier, I don't have the instructions for him. So we'll kind of see how that goes to put them together. So that goes there. It just looks so out of place. That will eventually end up there. Okay. Okay. Not sure where this goes. To the box art. Yeah, box art has it on his hip. So, yeah, over to that hip. We'll see. Looks kind of low. Oh, there's a back piece there too. I see. Got it. All right. So, little glue, little glue. There we go. There it goes. It's a big old seam along the top there. That should be all right. There we go. Look at that guy. All right. Cloak over here. dry fitting is your friend. If you're in a situation, dry fit, dry fit, dry fit. Okay. Bend your glue through here and down that ridge. That's pretty cool. The way the cloak wraps around him. It's probably one of the better 40K cloaks I've seen. That seam is pretty nasty though. And this arm. Yeah. It's got a small little indicator as to where it goes, but it looks pretty smooth. A little trick I like to do sometimes too. So when I got a silly spot or a hard spot, I can put some of the glue on the blade. Use the blade to guide it in there. You just gotta clean your blade up after you're done. And usually what I'll do with this is I'll count to about 20 seconds for hard spots that seem to have difficulty sticking. And then 20 seconds tends to be enough to get it done. There we go. All right. Backpack's left. Oh, look at that. It kind of connects down to the rest of the sword. That's pretty cool. So, a little glue there. A little glue back there. Backpack on. Ooh-wee. That is a pretty model. He's gonna fill up this base. It's a 32 mil base. Yeah, there he is. Let's see. Trying to get that chat to work because I'm pretty sure having some trouble. Yeah, it just keeps saying connecting. So there we go. Cypher. How cool is that? Alright. So that's done. This is cooled off enough. I can put this away. Alright. Don't need the super glue. Clean the glue off of this real quick. Okay. Alright. Another sprue in the done pile. Alright, this is little pebbles, sand, and the really cheap clay kitty mix. That's what I tend to use. Get myself a brush, kind of a ratty one. This particular one was used for painting pumpkins a long time ago. Kind of super cheap. And I like to use Elmer's glue. And it's just a matter of getting the glue down there. I tend to wet the brush just a little bit. Push the glue around. Try not to get it all over the place, but it doesn't have to be perfect. You do want to cover the whole base though. Then it's just as simple as dipping and swishing around. Give it a little shake. Off to the side. Next model. Like I said, I like to have my brush a little wet. Get it in there, pushing it around. Got a little too much there on his toe. Kind of want to still be able to see his toe. Just gonna clean it off. It's good to go. Kind of shake it around, and then toss it off. Now, if you notice too, eventually you'll start to see more of the big stuff on the top here. And that has a lot to do with the weight of the material. The pebbles and the kitty litter is lighter than the sand. So the more you work on it, that stuff will start coming up to the top, and you'll start to get more of that than the rest. It's not that big of a deal, really, but I like to keep my army looking as consistent as possible. So I just kind of go in and refresh it every now and then to make sure it's not getting a whole bunch of big stuff on the top. Yeah, because what looks like sand and stuff to us, to model scale, that's like big rocks and debris. You know, this guy's 9 feet tall, 8 feet tall. You know, a pebble the size of his foot's huge, right? Keep on keeping on. And this technique's pretty quick. I mean, by no means is it the fanciest bases you'll see out there. But like my Ultramarines, I have this rock and snow base, and I honestly think it looks really awesome. I really like it. But it takes a lot of time and a lot of work with a lot of different materials to get those guys done. And snow like boards are tough to do and are a little rare. So when I go to play, most people, most tournaments, most scenes don't have like a snowboard, you know, so they always kind of look a little off, which, you know, not the big a deal, but it kind of bugs me. So lately, I've been doing the same basing scheme across all my other armies except for my Ultramarines, and it's this. So my Demons are this way, my Necrons are this way, my Imperial Fists are this way, and now these guys will be this way. And I think it'd be easier for boards to match, and if I ever wanted to like battle them against each other, well, the terrain that they're on will look the same, and it'll make them feel like they're all in the same space. You know. And that seems like a neat idea to me too. Because if I wanted to play around with like one army against another one, they'll look the same. Got a little too much under here. Try to get that out of there. There we go. Same kind of thing on the back side. It's like this one. Got a lot of big stuff up front. Not that big a deal, but they tend not to lay the way that rocks would lay. So usually I'll pluck them out of there. They don't lay right. There we go. Just redip it and good to go. Also, this scheme tends to look good with the basing that's coming with all the newer models now too. And what I mean by that is like those tactical rocks and tactical debris and whatnot. This tends to play nicer with that. Say that guy there. That's a little too big. Not gonna pan out right. Here we go. That's the 6 inner circle companions done. Yay. Alright. Terminator Chaplain. And sorry if the angles aren't that great. It's kind of hard to do what you need to do to see, but also kind of keep it where you guys can see too. So sorry if that hasn't worked out too well. And again, if you guys are just not with us, my chat seems to not be pulling up right. So sorry if I'm not being able to talk with you guys. So you got way too much on his foot this time around. Try to get this a little more mixed up. See what I mean by a little too much on that foot? A little too much is not that big a deal. Yeah, because they are in this world. There we go. Terminator Chaplain done and done. Let's see. Not part of the inner circle box, but I did take a lieutenant model that came in a starter set a little bit ago. And I'm going to go ahead and give him the Dark Angel treatment. I redid the tilt plate on him, and I redid the head on him. I'm just noticing there's that little gap there, but it should be supported by my washer down there. So we'll see. That's the lieutenant with the storm shield and Volkite pistol. I figured the shield and robes kind of match the aesthetic. Not sure if it's super competitive or anything like that, but it will look cool. I thought it looked good. And honestly, a lot of these newer sculpts, especially for like the starter boxes that they've been doing, the quote-unquote generic sculpts that could go for any faction, I think they do a really good job with them. Like, changing out just the head definitely made him Dark Angel-y. That robe, you know? The little tilt plate, that definitely helps sell Dark Angel. It's not just like, hey, he's an ultramarine that you stuck a few Dark Angel bits on. You know, I think you could really go for any faction. And I kind of felt that way too when I did the Imperial Fists. Albeit Imperial Fists are pretty bland. But it seems to hold true for these guys too. Like, if I didn't know, you know, too much about it, yeah, I'd be like, yeah, Dark Angel. Cypher. Ooh, he's gonna be kind of hard to get in there. Look at you, Cypher. Just built and already getting your basing stuff on. You didn't have to wait. Lucky guy you are. Again, the way his cloak is, y'all, I might be messing up y'all's view. But I need to be able to see too. Like, I have a very strong appreciation for people who do like painting on YouTube and how they have their cameras set up to be able to get their work done and still show us. Because just doing something like this is a little bit of a struggle. This is just kind of like child's play compared to like painting a whole deal. I definitely feel like if Cypher was made in today's days and standards, he'd be on a 40 mil base. Clean up this brush on him. Now the box came with a chaplain to lead the Terminators, the Death Wing, the Death Knights. But I was told that you could only do a 5-man block of them. So I'm going to have 5 of them without any sort of leader. And I don't know if this can be good or not. Again, I'm not sure if it's the most competitive thing, but I was thinking about putting a Terminator captain in there with him. This is from the Leviathan box. Not a huge fan of like the sculpted dead enemies on it. Like, he's gonna carry this Screamer Killer head with him everywhere he goes. So I'm not sure if I want to base him up to match them yet or not, or if I want to pop him off and then build a different base for him. But he might be coming to join the party in a little bit. And I also have a Librarian in Terminator armor, which I think I'm gonna bring in, but not purely sold on it yet. I wish chat was working right now so you guys could tell me. But you know what? I might as well just go with it. Dark Angels use Librarians, right? Might as well. Can't think of any lore that don't. Try to get in there because that'll look weird otherwise. All right. There you go. Clean this brush. So there it is. That's what I wanted to get done tonight. I got these guys with some base material on. I got Cypher built with his base magnetized. Cleaning up this brush. Get this out the way. So the Dark Angels army grows just a little bit. Our circle companions. Terminator. Let's see. Lieutenant, Librarian, and Cypher. Looks like I got more elites and HQs than I got Vital on. I wonder if like intercessors is a good thing to just have with them. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I guess I should probably look up some lists to get an idea where to go. But I tend not to do that. I tend kind of just to make what I like, do what I like with the work. And then, you know, go get beat a few dozen times and then adjust if need be. But yeah, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Enough of all this stuff that's kind of just chilling. But yeah, there you go. That was my goal for the evening. Cypher's done. Getting built, getting based. Oh, got a little sand on the sword. You know, if you presented that to the Emperor or the Lion right now, he'd probably be a little disappointed in you. Yeah, little Kit Bash Lieutenant, which I think looks pretty cool. I think he came out pretty nice. It's one of the newer sculpts I did today, which I think looks pretty awesome too. But yeah, so that is my goal achieved. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. If you staked around this whole time, go ahead, throw a subscription on there, throw a like on there. It really means the world to me. And until next time, peace. Take care.